Good morning. We're all here today because of Paul, to celebrate his life, and because he's cut off short from us too soon. And the reason why I'm recording this is because we're going to be down in Cancun on this happened to be the same day that you're here today. So I wanted to be able to let everybody know how I feel about Paul, what Paul meant to me. And this is the best way I can do that without not being here. But we already had a thing. Sorry that we couldn't be here to meet everybody and to know that what Paul's done to each and every one of our lives. And to start with that, let's just like start how I met Paul. I met Paul right here in the Bridge Church. We came down here about the same time. He's from Minnesota. We was from Illinois. He rode motorcycles. We did too. So we hit it off really good there. We've become close friends between motorcycle riding and church events, and eventually became, he's my brother in Christ. With the different events that we did with the church, and we even became part of the leadership team of the deacons of the church. That was a big event for me, and it was for him too. And the same way we did with Celebrate Recovery, we did that. Paul was the type of guy that if you was hurting, Paul was there to take and comfort you, to help you out any way he possibly can. He was always positive. He was he was a good person to take and say that was a good Christian. You can see Christian in him, no matter what he did or how he's doing and stuff. It was always that way. But just to get back to some of the things that how he did in my life. We did a lot of motorcycle trips around. It was always interesting because whenever I decided I wanted to go for a ride or he wanted to go for a ride, we always call each other. Hey, what are you up to? Oh, not too much. Well, I think about just going out for a ride for about an hour or so. Well, boom, he's gone. He's right there. He's with me each and every time. We'd go all over the place. We eventually did some longer trips. We made trips to all the way down to Corpus, Texas, which you'll see some of the pictures that we took from there. That was a pretty long trip. We actually did another trip over to the Ark and back. This is all on motorcycles. This is all when you really get close to somebody and you get to see that what they're like and what the person is. But Paul became more than just a close friend. He actually became a family. As many of you know that Paul, each and one of us has our time with him, or had our time with him. Paul meant a lot to his whole community. If you ask him, no, he didn't, but he did. There's very few people in town that didn't know Paul, or Paul didn't help them for some reason or other. And I asked him one day, I said, how come you're always busy and you're more busier than them? You're supposed to be retired. He goes, well, I don't mind doing the work. I said, well, you're working awful hard for a retired guy. And he goes, but here's the difference. When I was working, I had to. I don't have to, but I enjoy working. I only work when I want to. And that was Paul. That's just, he was straight up like that with you and stuff. And if you was messing up, as some of you know that because he's pulled you off the side and let you know that, you're not really towing the rope right, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not doing as a Christian supposed to be. Paul would let you know that. And in a nice way, in a way that you like, I just think I got my butt chewed and I don't know but that's okay, because that was Paul. That's just the way he approached everything. And he always had a positive attitude about stuff. He loved for people to advance and do better in their lives. He just celebrated with you. I mean, he when I took him down to Corpus Christi, down to where my oldest son lives, and his children just took to him like he was his uncle that's lost forever, just came back to town, and Paul loved that. I mean, he just loved children. He loved people, period. And if you met Paul for 5 minutes, you knew exactly what I'm talking about. And I think everyone in this room would know that and stuff. And Paul would, if I was working on a project or something and need a little extra help, he showed up. To back where, even when we started our house and stuff and was building it, got it built up and stuff, all of a sudden Paul shows up in the driveway. What you up to? I don't see what you're doing. And before you know it, he says, I never drywalled before. I like to learn. So he'd start spacking stuff onto the walls. So I showed him that there. when we redid the building next door, that Paul was the one there. You'll see some pictures with Paul carrying wood and stuff like that there. But here's the other side of Paul that most people didn't know. If he needed help, he'd never ask. He would never ask. So you had to know what he was doing and just showed up. And one of the things when he moved up to Wisconsin, he took his stuff and he told me, I says, now, Paul, I'm going to show up and help you load this truck up. He goes, okay, no problem. I'll be loading up Friday morning. I called him up 7 o'clock Friday morning. I said, I'm on my way. He said, never bother. We're already loaded. That's Paul. I said, hey, how can I help you if you do it knowing I'm coming? These are things that Paul would do, stuff like that. And he would just show up or take you to a different church and stuff like that. We went to church hopping a few times, and he just enjoyed that. He went to a Jewish place, and he really enjoyed that quite a bit. And Paul just was full of life. He really was. He liked the adventures. He liked helping people out. He loved helping people out. And all you have to do is look around. You'll see what I mean. And Heather, let me tell you, your father was well loved here. And we lost a lot. As well as you. But we wanted to let you know, at least I want to let you know how much we loved him. And he was more than just a friend. He was our brothers in Christ, and he was my family. Last time we seen Paul, we didn't know what was going on. He seemed to be just fine. He made sure that when he came into town, make sure I was in town so I can take and meet up with him. And we did. And that was before he came home to you. We miss him a lot. And I just wanted an opportunity to let everybody know how I felt about Paul and what he meant to us. We miss him a lot. But we know he's in a better place. We know that we're going to meet him again. And they're looking forward to that again. All I can say is just remember that it's not a goodbye. It's just a long time of he changed addresses. That we all will do too, and see him soon. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. And that was harder than I thought.